Hello there, and welcome back to another one of my film reviews. So this time, this is an Irish film. Um, it's based on a John B. Keane play of the same name, which was written in 1965, and here it is, The Field. So, as you can see, it's got the late Richard Harris in it, who is, I suppose, the main character. Well, in truth, this really is an ensemble film because you've got a great cast. You've got John Hurt, who plays the village idiot. Sean Bean plays Harris's son. Of course, he's not really his son. It's the Bull McCabe's son, who Harris played to great effect. He is like, of course, an Irishman, although he ended up with quite a sort of very posh sort of English accent. I guess he had elocution lessons and, studied with many people of the same ilk. He used to knock around with Peter O'Toole and get drunk a lot. Anyway, I think Brenda Fricker is the other major Irish actress that's in it. A lot of the cast were not actually Irish. Tom Berenger, of course, quite famous. He plays an American, and well, he is an American, so that was easy for him. But you'll notice that accent slipping once or twice. Sean Bean slipped out of his Irish accent once or twice, but it's not really that noticeable, to be honest. Um, this is, depending on how you look at it, you could say this is a horribly depressing film. It's also quite a beautiful film. It got very mixed reviews. So some newspapers, gave it a glowing review, and others maybe not so much. Um, yeah, one of the reviews is called it powerful. The Field is a memorable work. Richard Harris is remarkable. But actually, if you look on Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score is about 43%. So obviously, a lot of the critics didn't like it. They found it too depressing, I think, probably. It is pretty grim, and it shows a side of Irish life that isn't often portrayed, that the tourist board definitely doesn't want anyone to see. They just want to sell leprechaun image and sort of people dancing, doing Irish dancing in the street or something, to try and get holds of tourists here. So showing a negative side where there's a murder, that's, well, verboten or whatever, they don't really like that kind of thing. So, because it doesn't show Ireland in a very positive light. But, I think you've got to bear in mind this is set in the past. It's set in shortly after the Ireland gained its independence, and it's in a sort of rural, not particularly affluent community. The film actually did pretty well in the UK. It made well over 1 million at the time, um, and it wasn't a very expensive film. So it's sort of gone on to sell very well on DVD as well. And Richard Harris actually got a nomination for an Oscar for this, for Best Actor. Um, John Hurt also. I don't think it actually ended up with any actual awards itself. Of course, it was produced by Jim Sherridan, directed by Jim Sherridan, who has gone on to make a lot of perhaps more famous films later on. So it is very sort of still well known, and in fact, there was a set of Irish stamps based on that to kind of commemorate the centenary of Irish cinema. I think that was in 1996. Anyway, I think it's one of the best Irish films. It's not, some overblown comedy, and it's not sort of some there's some films I've seen produced now which are like so depressing you feel like going and jumping in a river afterwards. So I think it treads that middle ground very well between being a very powerful drama with an element of realism and not making you want to slash your wrists when you've finished watching it, or just being a stupid, goofy comedy. I find a lot of Irish films is very extreme. They either tend to be like all jokey and stupid, or they're like so serious that you feel depressed after watching them. You know, so I think this treads the line very well. It's enjoyable to watch. It's not painful, and it's a great story. Of course, the original play was a wonderful story. So yeah, it came from a great starting point, and they did a good job, I think, of turning this into a feature film from the original play. So I'd highly recommend this. I think it's a really good story, very well acted, very well scripted, and you have moments of silence where the characters look at each other, and there's great intensity in the performances there. Yeah, I think that's really all I could really say about it. If you want to watch an Irish film that's serious and not just a goofy comedy, then this one, The Field, is definitely top of the list, I think. And I very much enjoyed that, and I give it a play every now and then. You know, I must have watched it probably four times by now, I'd say. So every few years I pull it off the shelf and I'll watch it again. Okay, so that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed it. Please give a like if you found this useful or interesting, and that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and please check out my other film reviews, and feel free to subscribe, and that way you'll get to see all of my film reviews and whatever other videos I put together. You'll see on my channel I've got a bunch of playlists for different types of videos, so please feel free to check them out. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.